Hi everyone, in this new video we'll solve the actual questions which has come in the year CAT 2021 actual paper of slot 2. We'll solve each question in the detailed manner of specifically all the questions on Quant, LRDI and verbal. At the same time, people who are looking forward for the new courses on the CAT and the other management examination, I would request all of you to visit the MBAP Education Online website where all the courses which have been listed will be curated and will be mentored by the top IIM faculties. Whether you go ahead with the live coaching or whether you want to go ahead with the self-paced courses, all the courses will help you out with the best of the possible manner to crack all the management examination. Cool. Let's have a look at the actual questions which has come in the year 2021 of the CAT examination. Starting with the first question. As what you can see on the screen, the question says, for all the possible integers, I repeat, for all the possible integers n satisfying 2.25 is less than or equal to 2 plus 2 raised to n plus 2 is equal to or less than 202. The number of integers values that 3 plus 3 raised to n plus 1 can take is what? It's a theta question, so you would have to solve and type in the answer. Okay. The question is first finding out the range of the given values of n using this expression. Let's start with the first expression which is there on the right hand side. The expression says this is basically 2 plus 2 raised to n plus 2 is less than or equal to 202. Now if you subtract 2 from either sides, the value will become 2 raised to n plus 2 is less than or equal to 200. Now certainly I'm going to look at all those values which are the powers of 2. We know 2 raised to 7. We know 2 raised to 7 will become 128 and 2 raised to 8 will become 256. Now 2 raised to 8 will become 256, which is ideally more than 200. Now the only value which I can take is basically 2 raised to 7 or less than that to make it less than or equal to 200. Now if n plus 2, I repeat, if n plus 2 is less than or equal to 7, then the value of n is all those values which I can take less than 5, less than or equal to 5. I can take all the integral values which are less than or equal to 5. Now let's see the other part of this equation or the expression, which basically says 2.25 is less than or equal to 2 plus 2 raised to n plus 2. Now if I subtract 2 either from the either side, it's going to become 0.25 less than or equal to 2 raised to n plus 2. Now 0.25 is basically 1 by 4 and 1 by 4 is 2 raised to minus 2. So it's going to become 2 raised to minus 2 less than or equal to 2 raised to n plus 2. Now from here you will get the range of n to be, or let's say n plus 2 will be more than or equal to minus 2, or n is definitely more than or equal to minus 4. So on one side I got the range of n to be as more than or equal to minus 4 and less than or equal to 5. So which all possible values of n I can take? I can take all the values of n right from minus 4, minus 3, minus 2, minus 1 till the last value which is 4, 5. Now these are the values which can be considered for the expression which I am looking at, which is 3 plus 3 raised to n plus 1, but I want this to become an integer. I want this to become an integer. For example, if I assume the value of n to be as minus 2, it's going to become 3 plus 3 raised to minus 2 plus 1 is minus 1, which will be 3 plus 1 by 3, which will not be an integer. So if you see and eliminate those values which will not give you an integer values from the range of values of n which you have got, you will see only those values. So the lowest value from which you will start getting an integer value will be minus 1, because minus 1 plus 1 will become 0, 3 raised to 0 will become 1, 1 plus 3 will become 4. That's the first integer value that the expression can take. So the range of values which I can consider for 3 plus 3 raised to n plus 1 to become an integer will be minus 1, then 0, plus 1, plus 2 till plus 5. So how many values do I see? I can see all the values which are counting 7 in number. And hence the answer for the given question, I repeat, the answer for the given question would be 7. Let's see the next question. The next question says, Raj invested 10,000 in a fund. At the end of the first year, he incurred a loss, but his balance was more than 5,000. This balance, when invested in another year, grew, and the percentage of growth in the second year was 5 times the percentage of loss incurred in the first year. So in the first year he incurred loss, next year he is gaining 5% of the magnitude of loss which he has incurred in the first year. If the gain of Raj from the initial investment over the 2 years is 35%, then the percentage of loss in the first year is what? Now, if you look at the kind of question which is there, this is basically from the topic of percentage, and the application on which the question has been based is a module of successive percentage changes, where multiple changes are happening together, which is given by change of A plus change of B and then change on change. Now certainly, I do not know the value of each of the change. The only thing which I know, if say the loss is basically X percentage in the first year, next year I am incurring a profit of 5x. Next year I am incurring a profit of 5x percentage. So possibly my first value is minus x, second value is 5x, and then since one is positive, one is negative, A into B will also be negative. So it's basically 5x percentage of x. This value should be equivalent to 35% is what they are telling you. That's my first loss, this is my second profit, and this is profit into loss, as the common principle of successive percentage will be applied here. Now certainly, you will just look at the option to see which option can come, which can not come. For example, if you go ahead with 5, then possibly it's going to become minus 5 in the first year, plus 25 in the second year, and then it's going to become minus 25% of 5. Now obviously this expression, the whole value will not come up to 35%, so 5 will not be the answer. If you look at all the options, if you check with the option C, which is 10, it's going to become minus 10 plus 5 times 10, which is plus 50, minus 50% of 10. Let's see what the value is all about. Minus 10 plus 50 will give you 40, and then 50% of 10 will give you 5, and the final expression will give you plus 35% in the end. So it was one of the simplest questions, though the length of the question is slightly bigger, but as said, the length of the question will not decide the complexity of the question. Smartly, by looking at the options, you can eliminate the other options really very well, and the answer for the given question will be as simple as 10%. Now 10 is the loss incurred in the first year, so it's minus 10. Let's have a look at the next question. The question says, for a real number x, in the condition that mod of 3x minus 20 plus mod of 3x minus 40 is equal to 20, which of the following range definitely holds correct? Okay, come on. So this question possibly you can simplify first of all by assuming, let's say 3x to be as one constant to be equal to y and y. Now the whole expression can look like y minus 20 plus y minus 40 should be equal to 20. Should be equal to 20. Now let's assume the case of a number line. Let's assume the case of a number line. Let me assume the first point to be on 20 and the next point to be on 40. And let me assume the case to be as a simple linear race where let's say two people, let's say this is A and this is B. Two people are running on this number line. I repeat, two people are running on this number line, and together they have to complete 20 units. And together they have to complete how much? 20 units. And now you can assume the case. Possibly one of the case could be like, let's say there's a boy, or let's say A, who's standing on this point 20. He first come to this point 40, and then two of them, which is A and B, are now running in the positive direction of this number line beyond 40. But if that happens, the distance which is already covered by A from 20 to 40 is already 20 units. You wanted both of them to cover together 20 units. I repeat, you wanted both of them to cover how much? 20 units together. So certainly this case I cannot assume. And same would be the case if I assume it to be reverse. If 40 comes here and then two of them are going towards a negative line direction on this number line, 20 minus 40 will give you 20 units, which has already been exhausted by B to come till point A. Right? As said, together they have to complete how much? Together they have to complete 20 units. So I have assumed one of the case, I repeat, I have assumed one of the case that 20 goes to 40 and 40 comes to 20. So both of them have been eliminated. So the only point which is possible is, let's assume this is the point y, which is in between 20 and 40. Now either you go to 20 or you go to 40, together you will be completing how much? Together you will be completing 20 units of this race. I repeat, together you will be completing 20 units of this race. So that's one of the probable solution which I can look at, which means where is y? Where y is between 20 and 40. I repeat, I got the range of y to be as between 20 and 40. I found y to be less than 20 and y to be more than 20 and y to be less than 40. Now I know y was how much? Y was basically 3x. So certainly 3x is definitely more than 20 and 3x is definitely more than less than 40. I got the range as x is something in between 20 by 3 and 40 by 3, which is between 6.67 till 13.33. Now this is the possible range of x what I can get in this given question. If that is the case, all what I will do is just check which option can be feasible for this range of values of x. If you assume that x is more than 6, then definitely you have certain values which is 6.1, 6.2, 6.3, which cannot be a part of this range, right? If you C, eliminate A, B and D, easily will be ruled out, can be ruled out, and the only value which is possible will be expression number C or the range number C, where x is between 7 and 12, and that becomes the answer for this question. Let's have a look at the next question. The question says, consider the pair of equations which is x squared minus xy minus x is equal to 22 and y squared minus xy plus y will be equal to 34, and that's also been given to you that x is more than y. Then the question what has been asked to you is find the difference of x minus y. Difference of x minus y given x is more than y has been asked to you. Now if I rewrite both the equations really very well, it says x squared minus xy minus x will be equal to 22 and y squared minus xy plus y will be equal to 34. That's what has been given to you. I repeat, that has been given to you. Now certainly if you add both the equations, what they will be up to, the sum of both of them will become how much? 56. On this side it's going to become x squared plus y squared minus 2xy. On this side it's going to become minus x plus y, right? Now certainly x square minus 2xy plus y square will be nothing but x minus y the whole square minus of x plus y. I repeat, this will be minus of x plus y. Now if you solve this equation well, you'll understand this is nothing but x minus y into x minus y minus 1 will be equivalent to 56. I repeat, this will be equal to 56. Now let's assume x minus y to be as a and x minus y minus 1, which is 1 less than x minus y, to be equal to b. The product of both the numbers, which is ideally a into a minus 1, should be equal to 56. What values can they be up to? One of them could be like 8 into 7, which is 56. Second of them could be like minus 7 into minus 8, could be 56. These are the only two possible solutions of getting a or a minus 1 or x minus y into x minus y minus 1. Now certainly it has also been given to you that x is more than y. If x is more than y, then the difference of x minus y cannot be negative. Then the difference of both of them cannot be negative, so this option has been ruled out. The only possible value would be 8 into 7 will be equal to 56. This is 8, this is 7, and the product of them will be equivalent to 56. The question is about find the value of x minus y. The value of x minus y will be how much? Will be as simple as 8. I hope you have understood the question well. Let's see the next question. The next question says, a person buys tea from 3 different qualities at 800, 500 and 300 rupees per kg respectively, and the amount bought are in the ratio of 2:3:5. She mixes all the 3 teas and sells 1/6 of the mixture at 700 rupees per kg. The price in INR per kg at which she should sell the remaining, which is 5/6 of the total value, to make it overall profitable at 50%. So let's see the quality, or let's say the prices of the different varieties of tea. So prices per kg has been given to you in 3 forms, which is basically 800 rupee tea, then comes 500, and lastly comes 300, right? Also the amount have also been given to you, which is basically in the ratio of 2:3:5. So you can assume it to be as 2x, assume it to be 3x, and assume it to be 5x. So total, if you take the sum count, it's now becoming how much? It's now becoming 10x. Now you wanted this variety, or let's say this total value, to be divisible by 6, because you want to take 1/6 and 5/6 out. So let's see if you can multiply with the common multiplying factor to make it easier. Multiply with 3 each. So it's going to become 6 total value in the of 800 rupees variety, 6 kg here. It's going to become 9 kg here, and this is going to become 15 kg here. Now let's see the total amount of 6 kg is going to be costing how much. So 6 8 will be 48. So this will give you a cost of 4800. This will give you a cost of 4500, and this will give you a cost of again 15 3 4500. So the total value of this 30 kg of all the varieties of teas to be clubbed together will account for 45 45 90 plus 48, which is 13,800. Now this is my cost price. So 13,800 is my cost price. You want to get it a profit of 50% over this. So my overall selling price will be 1.5 into 13,800. Now this should be equivalent to the sales revenue of it, right? Now you are selling it 1/6 of it at 700 rupees per kg. 1/6 of 30 kg will be how much? Will be 5. So 5 kg you are selling it basically for how many kg? For 700 rupees. And the other, I repeat, the other 25 kg is something for which you have to find out the value of. This is the equation which you will solve. Now 13,800 into 50% more of it, or 1.5, will amount to 20,700. This should be equal to 3500 plus 25x. Now if you subtract 3500 from 20,700, the value will become 17,200. Okay, so 17,200 should be equal to 25x, and the value of x should be equal to 17200 divided by 24 divided by 25, which is 100 upon 4. If you solve this value, closest value for which you should get the answer should be 688.4 but the closest answer that you can mark for the given question would be option number A. This was not a difficult question for you to solve in the actual question of this exam also. Have a look at the next question, which came in the CAT 2021 slot 2. The question says, for the sequence of real numbers x1, x2 till xn, if x1 minus x2 plus x3 till minus 1 xn plus 1 xn will be equivalent to n square plus 2n, for all the natural numbers of n, find a sum of x49 till x50. I repeat, the question is, find the value of x49 till x50. The only pattern which you can see is negative plus positive, positive plus negative, till the values which are ongoing, right? Now let's start with the first value which you have got. Let's say, and this is one of those series based questions for which you have to find the value of x1, x2, x3 likewise. I repeat, if you're able to find the overall values of all the variables right from x1 till x50, or possibly you are able to find some pattern on this, you would be able to solve it well and quickly. So the question, using this expression, x1 will be what? The value of n you will substitute to be as 1 itself. So it's going to become 1 square plus 2 times 1, which will become 3. Moving on, next time it's going to become x1 minus x2, right? If I assume n to be as 2, the value of x1 minus x2 will become 2 square plus 2 times 2. This value will become 8. Moving ahead, let's see if we can solve x1 minus x2 plus x3. This value will become 3 square plus 2 times 3, which will be equivalent to 15. Let's see one more expression, x1 minus x2 plus x3, minus x4 should be equal to 4 square plus 2 times 4, which will be equivalent to 24. Clear? 16 plus 8 will be equivalent to 24. And let's see if we can derive some pattern out of this. Now I want firstly to find the value of x1, x2, x3 and x4, all the values. Now x1 I already know. The value of x1 is 3 and x1 minus x2 has been given to you as 8. So 3 minus x2 will be equal to 8. So the value of x2 will be equal to minus 5. I repeat, the value of x2 will be equal to minus 5. x1 I got as 3. Now x1 minus x2 plus x3 is equal to 15. x1 minus x2 is basically has already been given to me as how much? 8. So the question says 8 plus x3 will be equal to 15. So the value of x3, obviously all of you will find the value to be equivalent to 7. Now x1 minus x2 plus x3, if you add with x4, is now becoming 24, which says 15 minus x4 should be equivalent to 24. So what will be x4? x4 will be equivalent to 15 minus 24, which is basically minus 9. So you got x4 to be as minus 9. So x1 is plus 3, x2 is minus 5, x3 is plus 7, x4 is minus 9. All the values are going out of the magnitude of 2 to 2, but the signs are also changing. So if you see here, plus 3 minus 5 plus 7 minus 9, the next value will become plus 11. Likewise, x5 and x49, x50, all the values you'll be able to find. Let's see the difference of any of these two values. Let me first plot x1, x2, x3 and x4 in a very simple way. Let's put this as plus 3 minus 5 plus 7 minus 9. Now if we take the sum of any of these two consecutive numbers as a difference, let's take x1 plus x2. x1 plus x2 will give you how much? Minus 2. x3 plus x4 will give you how much? Minus 2. You will find minus to be equal. It is basically a constant for any of the addition of two consecutive terms. So similarly, x49 plus x50 will also give you minus 2 in the end, and hence the answer for this given question will be equivalent to minus 2. Let's have a quick reading towards the next question which is being given to you. The question says, for the 4-digit number, the sum of its digits in the thousands, hundreds and tens place is 14. The sum of the digits in the hundreds, tens and the units place is 15. And the tens place digit is 4 more than the units place. The question is, find the highest possible 4-digit number satisfying the given condition. Okay. Now it's been given to you that it is basically a 4-digit number in total. Now the sum total of thousands, hundreds and tens digit is basically has been given to you as 14. On the other hand, hundreds, tens and unit digit total has also been given to you as 15, right? Now if you just read this, the first 2 points, you will understand that hundreds and tens digit is basically common in the addition of both the expression. So it's but obvious that the unit digit will be, the difference between the unit digit and the 10 digit will be ideally 1, because the sum count is also increasing by from 14 to 15. It's increasing by 1, and this 2 units is basically exactly same. If these 2 units are exactly same, let me assume this to be as a, and let's assume this to be as a plus 1. The last unit will be as a plus 1, and the common will be hundreds digit and the tens digit. It has also been given to you that the 10 digit place is 4 more than the unit place. So if this is a plus 1, this will be a plus 5. Now all the 4 values of this 4-digit numbers can occupy any number, can accommodate any number from 0 to 9, and you want to maximize this. Obviously the maximum value of a plus 5 will become 9. The maximum value of a plus 5 will become 9. If that is the case, then a plus 1 will become 5 and a will become 4. So we'll understand that the thousands place is 4, hundreds we do not know, the tens digit is basically 9, and the units place is basically 5. Now you want the addition of the last 3 numbers to be as 14, and the first 3 numbers starting from the units place to be as 15. You can occupy all the values right from 0 till 9, but the only value which is going to be satisfying this condition will be 1. 4 plus 1 plus 9 will give you 14, 1 plus 9 plus 5 will give you 15, and hence the maximum value for this answer will be 4195. That's the final answer for this given question. Let's take the next question. The next question is from a topic of mixture and alligation, which is not going to be difficult for you, and you might have seen this kind of a question previously in your mock test and the OMET paper also. Read the question very well. The question says, from a container filled with milk, I repeat, from a container filled with milk, 9 liters of milk are drawn and been replaced with water. So it's a replacement question. From the same container, 9 liters are drawn again and has been again replaced with water. If the volume of milk and water in the container are now in the ratio of 16:9, then the capacity of the container in liters is equal to what? It's again a theta question, so you would have to solve this. Now all of you know that what is the replacement formula. The final concentration of milk which is being left at the end of the second replacement will be given by V times 1 minus K by V raised to N. What is K? K is the amount of liter which is being replaced all the time with water, right? V is the original volume of the composition for which we have to find the answer also of, right? So after one time of replacement of 9 liters of milk, the final concentration will become V times 1 minus 9 upon V raised to 1. This is after first replacement. Similarly, after second replacement, how much it would be? It's going to be V times 1 minus 9 upon V the whole square. Now V times 1 minus 9 upon V the whole square, the final ratio, or let's say what is the amount of milk which is left? The amount of milk which is left is basically 16K. Now 16K is basically, let's assume it to be as the volume of milk. 9K is the volume of water. So the total volume left out would be, let's assume it to be as 16 plus 9, which is basically 25K. Okay, so this whole expression will become 25K 1 minus 9 upon V to be equivalent to 16K. Clear? So obviously if you take 25 on the right hand side, it's going to become 1 minus 9 upon V the whole square to be equivalent to 16 upon 25. Taking square root on both the sides, it's going to become 1 minus 9 upon V will be equal to 4 by 5. And what is the volume of V? What is left over? If you solve this expression well, you'll find the final answer to be as what? It's going to become 1 minus 4 by 5, which is 1 by 5. 1 by 5 will be equivalent to 9 upon V, and the final volume or the initial volume will have 9 into 5, which is equivalent to 45 liters. So my final answer for this question would be how much? Would be 45 liters, so 45 units, which will be there in the initial container. That's a small replacement formula for which you guys need to know to solve the question quickly. Now let's have a look at the next question which came in the year CAT 2021 slot 2. Read the question well. The question says, for all the real values of x, I repeat, for all the real values of x, the range of the function f of x is given by x squared plus 2x plus 4 divided by 2x squared plus 4x plus 9. And the question is, we have to find the range of this function of f of x. Clear? Now let's assume this given fraction in the form of n by d. Now whenever you get a question in which you have to find the range of the given function, the first thing that we need to do is to draft the numerator and denominator in the similar format. Now let's try to draft the numerator in some format. The numerator is x squared plus 2x plus 4. This is something that we can rewrite as x plus 1 the whole square plus 3. On the other hand, you have got the denominator which is given to you as 2x squared plus 4x plus 9. Let's redraft this to be in the form of 2 times x plus 1 the whole square plus 7. Now this is the same question in the form of f of x function what we have got. Now still the numerator and denominator does not have anything common apart from x plus 1 the whole square. Now let's try to break 7 into some form. Let me rewrite this as x plus 1 the whole square plus 3 divided by 2 times x plus 1 the whole square plus 3 and then add 1 in the end. Clear? Now at least this time x plus 1 the whole square plus 3 will be a common part, and let me assume that to be as common constant k. I am saying x plus 1 the whole square plus 3, let's assume to be as k. So the whole expression will become k times divided by 2k plus 1. Clear? This is what we will get, right? Now what is the value of k? K is nothing but x plus 1 the whole square plus 3. Now ask yourself, what is the minimum value that k can get? The minimum value of k will come when x is equal to 0, and that value will be 3, and this range will become 3 by 7. So I said we assume x to be as 0, you got the minimum value of k to be as 3, and k upon 2k plus 1 will become 3 by 7. Now obviously this is one of those values which will definitely come, so the minimum value of this range will be 3 by 7. Maximum, that totally depends on the value of x what you are assuming. But if you look at the kind of pattern that we can make out of it, the maximum the value, or let's say the larger the value of k it would be, the minimum will be the significance of this one. For example, if k is 1000, 2k plus 1 will become 2001. If k is 1 lakh, this will become 2 lakh 1. Clear? This will obviously any value. This will obviously be any value which is less than 0.5. I repeat, this will definitely be any value which is going to be less than 0.5. Now, certainly you cannot assume to be at exactly 0.5, because this denominator is always one more than twice the numerator. Now, the larger the value would be, the larger the value of k would be, the approximately closer the value of this would be close to 0.5, but this will always be less than 0.5. So the range, what you can define is, it's going to be taking a minimum value of 3 by 7 to a maximum value will be slightly less than 1 by 2, and hence the answer for the given question, what you can mark, I repeat, the answer for the given question, what you can mark, will be option number B to be the final answer for this question. Now the next question is going to be slightly easy question for you to solve, because they're asking about an equation which is a quadratic expression. The question says, suppose one of the root of the equation, which is ax square minus bx plus c is equal to 0, is 2 plus root 3, where a, b and c are the rational numbers and a is not being equal to 0, and the question says b is equal to c cube. That's important hint, b is equal to c cube, what they have given you. The question is about find mod of a. The question is about find mod of a. Now they are talking about the first root. So one of the root has been given to you as 2 plus root 3. If one of the root of the equation is 2 plus root 3, so the conjugate pair will also be a root of the same equation. So the second root will be 2 minus root 3 is what we can get. So one of the root is 2 plus root 3, and the second root that we can get would be 2 minus root 3. Now they have given you the expression as ax squared minus bx plus c. Now sum of the root is given by minus b by a, right? Minus of minus b will be plus b. So b by a will be equal to sum of the roots. If you add both of them, you will get this value to be as 4. And the product of the root will be given by c by a, which is equal to 2 plus root 3 into 2 minus root 3, which will become 1. From this we can get b will be equal to 4a and c will be equal to a. What they have also given you is b is equal to c cube. I repeat, they have also given you b is equal to c cube. So let me rewrite b to be equal to 4a and c will be equal to a. So this is what I will get in the end. Cancelling a on both the sides, I'll get a square to be as 4, and if a square is 4, a will be equal to plus minus 2. The value of a is either plus 2 or minus 2, so the mod of a will always be equivalent to 2, and hence my answer will become option number B for this given question. Let's see the next question. The next question is from a topic of logs. Not a difficult question, provided you are able to change the base of the given values quickly. Cool. Read the question well. The question says if log to the base 2 in bracket 3 plus log to the base 3, 4 plus log of 4, x minus 1 minus 2 is equal to 0. The question is about find x and then multiply by 4 to find what is 4x. Cool. Now obviously the first thing that you will do in this expression will be taking 2 on the other side. And this whole expression will now look like log to the base 2, 3 plus log to the base 3, 4 plus log to the base 4, x minus 1 to be equal to plus 2. Now let's remove log to the base 2 from this side. So this whole value will become how much? This whole expression will become 3 plus log to the base 3, 4 plus log to the base 4, x minus 1. So this will become 2 raised to 2 on the other side, on the right hand side. So 2 raised to 2 will become 4. Now subtracting 3 from 4 on the RHS will become simply plus 1. Now you can remove the similar way as what you have removed the log to the base 2. Let's try to remove log to the base 3. Log to the base 3, if you remove, this will become 4 times, or let's say 4 plus log to the base 4 x minus 1 will become how much? Will become 3 raised to 1, which will become 3. Now 4 can be taken on the right hand side I repeat, 4 can be taken to the right hand side, and 3 minus 4 will become minus 1. So this will become log to the base 4 x minus 1 will become minus 1. So let's try to remove log to the base 4. So it's going to become x minus 1. Here it's going to become 4 h to minus 1. Clear? Now 4 h to minus 1 will be how much? 1 upon 4. So x minus 1 will be 1 upon 4. If x minus 1 is equal to 1 by 4, the value of x will be equal to 1 plus 1 by 4, which will be 5 upon 4. Now you got the value of x to be as 5 upon 4. The question is about find 4x. 4 times this value will become 5 by 4 into 4, and 4x will simply be equivalent to 5. Hence, the answer for this question will be equal to how much? The answer for this question will be as simple as 5. Now let's take one of the beautiful question which came on the topic of permutation combination. This is one of the very good question which has come in the year 2021 of CAT paper. Read the question well. The question says, the number of ways of distributing, I repeat, the number of ways of distributing 15 identical balloons, 6 identical pencils and 3 identical erasers among 3 children such that each child gets at least 4 balloons and 1 pencil. Certainly the childs are 3 in number and they are not identical, they cannot be identical. So the number of things which are distributed among them, which basically is balloons, pencil and erasers, are identical in number. What is the count? The count is 15 balloons followed by 6 pencil and 3 erasers, right? And 3 erasers. And let's assume there are 3 childs what we have got in this question. The minimum thing that we have to distribute among all of them will be about 4 balloons and 1 pencil. So let's say child 1 got 4 balloon, 1 pencil. Here also I am distributing 4 balloons and 1 pencil. Here I also am going to distribute 4 balloons and 1 pencil. So a total of 12 balloons and 3 pencils have been exhausted. If they have been exhausted, what is the final count which I have to distribute, irrespective of any child gets whatever, out of 15 identical balloons, 6 identical pencil and 3 identical erasers will be how much? So 15 minus 12 will become 3. So I am left with 3 balloons, 3 pencils and 3 erasers. Now this is something which I will distribute to 3 of the children irrespective of anything, right? It can be the case that some of them or one of them may get 0 out of any of the 3, or at least 2 or one of them. Clear? Now let's try to distribute the first element. You can choose any one of it. We can choose the balloon, we can choose the pencil, we can choose the eraser. Okay, because all of them are exactly 3 in number. As all of them are exactly 3 in number, let's try to distribute 3 balloons which are identical to 3 children which we have got. Okay, now there's no case that we have to consider with respect to restriction. So you can make and assume the cases the way you want. Let's try to assume the first case where at least 2 of them, or let's say exactly 2 of them, are getting 0 balloons. Let's say child number 2 and child number 3 are getting 0 balloons. So in that case, child number 1 will basically get 3 balloons. So this is one of the case where I am distributing 3 to the first child and 0 and 0 to child 2 and child 3. My case is basically case number 1, where 2 of the children are getting 0 balloons. With 2 of them becoming 0, which is child 2 and child 3, this is case number 1. Now 3 can come here also and 3 can come here also. So how many such cases will be possible? For case number 1, there will be exactly 3 ways of distributing 3 balloons to 3 children where 2 of them are getting exactly 0. Similarly, you can try to make case number 2. In case number 2, let me make one of them to be a 0 and 2 of them will get something. Let's assume the case where child 3 is getting 0, child 2 is getting 1, 2 and child 1 is getting 1. A sum total of 1 plus 2 plus 0 will also be 3. Now, if child 3 is becoming 0, then 2 and 1 can also be redistributed in this way. So for each value of 0, I am getting 2 cases and 0 can come at 3 places. So the total number of ways of distributing 3 balloons to 3 children in this fashion would be 3 into 2, which is 6. And let's assume the third case. What is the third case? Where none of them is getting 0. I repeat, the case number 3 will be where none of them are getting 0. In that case, the only possible case will be 1, 1 and 1. Right? Now 1, 1 and 1, this is the only way possible. You rewrite 1 on the other side, the case will be only 1. Clear? So the total number of possible cases of distributing the leftover 3 balloons to 3 children would be any of these 10 cases, which is 3 plus 6 plus 1, which is 10 cases. So for balloons, I found 10 of the ways. Taking care of the consideration which I have to take care of, or the restriction, then I am getting 10 ways of distributing the leftover balloons. But apart from balloons, I also have got 3 pencils. So 3 pencils will also be distributed in how many ways? Will be in 10 ways. And similarly, you are left over with 3 erasers. 3 erasers will also be distributed in a similar fashion, which is equivalent to 10 ways. So the total number of ways of distributing 3 balloons left over, 3 pencils left over and 3 erasers left over would be 10 into 10 into 10, which is basically 1000 ways. And the answer for the given question would be as simple as 1000 ways or 1000 cases possible. Let's have a look at the easy question which came from the topic of arithmetic in the year 2021. And it's one of the easiest questions which came in the paper. Read the question well. The question says a box has 450 balls, each either a white or a black. There being as many metallic white balls as metallic black balls. If 40% of the white balls and the 50% of the black balls are metallic. Okay, and it also gives you a hint that both of them will be equal. So 40% of white ball should be equal to 50% of the black balls. Then the number of non-metallic balls in the box will be equal to how much? So I repeat, the question says you've got some, you've got a box, you've got some white balls, you've got some black balls, and each of them will have 2 categories, metallic and non-metallic. I repeat, one of them will be metallic and second of them will be basically non-metallic, is a question that we have got. And the question is about finding the number of non-metallic balls. So what is the total count of balls which we have got? The total count of balls irrespective of any of the categories is basically 450. Out of them, you've got some of the white balls and you've got some of the black balls. White will be of 2 types, which is metallic white, and the leftover would be non-metallic white. Similarly, black will be of 2 types, which is metallic black and non-metallic black. Yes, what you will get. The first hint which we have got is 40% of white balls is equivalent to 50% of the black balls, which is basically metallic, which are basically metallic. So what is the ratio? The ratio of white will be equal to 5/4 of B. And at the same time, it is also being given to you total number of white plus total number of black will be equal to 450, right? So find the number of black balls and find the number of white balls. It's quite easy. Now using this expression 1 and 2, you will find the number of black balls will be equivalent to 200 and the number of white balls will be equivalent to 250, and a total of 450 balls are there in the box. Out of this, it has also been given to you that 40% of the white ones are basically metallic ones. 40% of 250 will be equivalent to 100. Similarly, 50% of black balls is equivalent to the number of metallic ones. So this should be equal to also 100, and as said, both of them are basically equal. Out of 250, if 100 is metallic white, the leftover value will be 150, which is non-metallic white. Similarly, out of 200, if 100 is metallic black, so the leftover value, which is again 100, will be non-metallic black. The question is, what is the total count of non-metallic balls? So total count will be non-metallic black plus non-metallic white, which basically is 100 plus 150, which should be equivalent to 250. And hence, the answer for the given question will be as simple as 250 balls are there which are non-metallic in the box. It was quite an easy question, and I'm sure all of you can understand the way of solving it. Let's have a look at question number 15. Quite a good question which you can expect in the paper to come up, and you can solve it either by using simple properties or by using symmetry also to take the question ahead. Let's have a detailed understanding what the question is about. The question says, the sides of AB and CD of a trapezium, I repeat, The sides of AB and CD of a trapezium ABCD are parallel, with AB being the smaller side. P is the midpoint of CD and ABPD, which is a part of the trapezium ABCD left over, will be a parallelogram. If the difference between the areas of the parallelogram, which is left over ABPD or newly formed, and the leftover triangle, which is BPC, is 10 in number. So the difference in the area is 10 square centimeter. The question is about find the area of the entire trapezium ABCD. Okay, let's try to make this trapezium first, and then you'll be able to easily visualize this to solve it in, let's say, less than 1 minute of a time. They're also saying AB is a smaller side. Let's assume it to be as ABCD. Now they're saying P is the midpoint of CD. This is my point CD. Let's assume this to be as point C. So let's join this. Clear? Now you can see a triangle which is BPC. I repeat, you will see a triangle which is BPC. And then ABPD. I repeat, ABPD will be basically a parallelogram. Now suddenly in this parallelogram, the sides will be equal. The sides will be equal. So, and this is P is the midpoint. So the size of PD is equal to the length of the CP also. Clear? Let's assume this to be as X. Let's assume this to be as X. And this will also become X. This will also become X. Now, if you have to find the area of this triangle BPC, it's going to be given by half into base into height, where we assume B to be as X, right? And let's assume this is my height H. This is my height H. The triangle has a height of H, and similarly, if I draw this perpendicular here, you will also find this height will also be common. This height will also be common. But what is the area of this parallelogram, which is ABPD? This will be base into height. This will be base into height. Now, my base is also as same as the base of the triangle. My height is also the same. My height is also be the same. So now you will understand that this triangle, I repeat, this triangle, read this sentence also very well. It says the difference between the areas of the parallelogram and the triangle will be equivalent to 10 square centimeter. Will be equivalent to 10 square centimeter. It has also been given to you that the triangle is half base height, and then you found that ABPD is X into H. By doing this and then by relating this, you will understand that this triangle is basically half of the area of this parallelogram. This triangle BPC will be half of the area of the parallelogram, which is ABPD. Clear? And if I assume this to be as 2A, this will become A. I repeat, if my parallelogram will become 2A, my triangle will become A in terms of area. And they have also said that the difference is basically 10 square centimeter. So ideally 2A minus A will be equal to 10. I'll understand that my triangle will have an area of 10 square centimeter and my parallelogram will have an area of 20 square centimeter. And the sum total will be nothing but ABPD plus BPC, which will be 20 plus 10. The total area will be equivalent to 30 square centimeter. And hence, the answer for the given question would be nothing but 30 units or 30 square centimeter. Next question is from the topic of time work. Easy question, and all of you could have solved this question in the examination too. The question says, two pipes A and B are attached to an empty water tank. Pipe A fills the tank while pipe B drains out the tank. So A is working positively and B is working negatively. If pipe A is opened at 2 p.m. and pipe B is opened at 3 p.m., then the tank becomes full at 10 p.m. Instead, if pipe A is opened at 2 p.m. and pipe B is opened at 4 p.m., then the tank gets filled in by 6 p.m. If pipe B is not open at all, then the time in minutes taken by tap A, or let's say pipe A, to fill the tank is how much, is the question. Clear? Let's have an understanding that if both the pipes are opened at the given time, what is the amount of time that they are taking to fill the tank. Let's assume A is filling up A units per hour and B is filling up B units per hour. From 2 to 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Pipe A was opened for 8 hours. So the amount of work done will be 8A, where basically A is filling in A units per hour. Similarly, B is also working. Now B is opened at 3 p.m. 3 to 10 will basically be 7 hours. So B was opened for 7 hours. So working together, they are able to fill the tank, positively or negatively. Next instance, this is my instance 1, and my second instance is where A is open at 2 p.m. B is open at 4 p.m. The tank is filled by 6 p.m. So A is open for how many hours? A is open for 4 hours. And similarly, now this time B will be open only for 2 hours. And again, my tank has been filled. Using this, possibly I can understand 8A plus 7B will be equal to 4A plus 2B. If you solve this, you will get 5B will be equal to minus 4A. Or B will be equal to minus 4A upon 5. Let's try to put in any of the expression. Let's put in expression number B. So 4A will become 4A. 2 times B will become 2 times minus 4 by 5A will be equal to T. So 2 times minus 4 will become how much? Will become minus 8 by 5. So 4 minus 8 by 5 will become 12A upon 5, which is 20 minus 8. So 12A upon 5 will be equal to T, right? And that's my total volume, by the way. I repeat, that's my total volume. What is the total volume? Total volume is 12A upon 5. Let's assume this way. So 12A upon 5 is what the tank capacity is, and this time B is closed, so it's only A which is working. The question is, for how many hours or for how many minutes should A be opened so that in all it should be able to fill 12A upon 5. So the value of time will also be equivalent to 12 upon 5 only. 12 upon 5 in terms of number of hours will be how much? 2 upon 5. Alright, 2 upon 5 hours will be equivalent to which option among the 4? Will be equivalent to option number B, which is basically 144 minutes. And that's my answer for the given question. I hope all of you have understood it well. Let's look at the next question of a topic of time, speed and distance of the same paper of CAT 2021. Read the question well. The question says, 2 trains A and B were moving in the opposite directions, their speed being in the ratio of 5:3. The front end of A crossed the rear end of B 46 seconds after the front end of the trains had crossed each other. So it's an instance where 2 of the trains are standing like this. The front end have actually about to, or let's say they are this instance where they are crossing each other. And it took another 69 seconds for the rear end of the train to cross each other. The question is, find the ratio of length of train A versus train B. Now all the questions of time, speed and distance you got to visualize to solve it quickly. Okay, if you're able to visualize and make the diagram, it's not going to be difficult at all for you to solve this. Let's assume this is my train A. Okay, let's assume this is my train A which is here, and the first instance is basically an instance where the heads of the train are basically next to each other. The heads of the train are next to each other. The front end have just crossed. The front end have just crossed. It takes 46 seconds for train A to cross the rear end of B. This is the rear end of B. So let's say this is my instance 1. Let's make train B in the similar form. And then you have got a train A where the head of the train the head of the train is reaching the rear end of train B. From this instance to this instance, it is taking how much time? This is taking exactly 46 seconds. Now let's see instance 2. Now instance 2, it says it takes another 69 seconds. It takes another 69 seconds for the rear end of the trains to cross each other. Now B's rear end is already here. From this instance, let's make instance C. You will assume, let's say visualize B to be in this form only. So we are not making any changes in B, but A will be now here. A will be now here. Okay? From instance B, let's assume this is to be as instance A, this is instance B, and this is instance C. From A to B, it takes 46 seconds. From B to C, it is now taking how many seconds? It is now taking exactly 69 seconds. Now, let's assume B to B, let's assume train B, I'm not changing anything. Now, train A is just crossing B. I repeat, train A is just crossing B. From the first instance what we have made where train A was here, to come to a level that train B is about to meet the rear end of B, what is the distance travelled by train A? The distance which is travelled by length A in the first to second instance will be exactly the length of B, because from here to here you're just crossing the length of B. So to cross the length of B, how many seconds you have taken? You have taken 46 seconds. Now let's see from instance B to instance C. We are here, right? Now from this instance where the front end of train A is meeting the rear end of train B to a level where both the rear ends of the trains are meeting, what is the distance covered by train A? The distance covered by train A will be the distance equivalent to the length of the train A, because I'm just covering my own length. So to cover my own length, I'm taking how many seconds? I'm taking another 69 seconds. Now mind you, the relative speed, I repeat, the relative speed of A and A versus B, since both of them are moving in the opposite direction, will be constant. And here, if the relative speed is constant, the length will be directly proportional with the time. The more the time, the lengthier the train would be, the longer the train would be. Now, from this, I already have the time taken to cover the length of A and length of B is how much? 69 upon 46 seconds. So the same ratio will be the ratio of length of train A versus length B, because my relative speed is exactly the same. So my final answer, which is the ratio of length A versus length B, will be 69 upon 46. 69 upon 46 will be how much? Will be nothing but 3 upon 2, and hence you will mark option number D to be the final answer for the given question. As said, the first and the foremost thing that we have done is to visualize and make an instance-based diagram, and then understanding what is the length covered or the distance covered by train A in instance from instance 1 to instance 2, from instance 2 to instance 3. You have understood that it is nothing but the length of B which is being covered first, length of A which is being covered second. My relative speed is constant, so my time is directly proportional with my length. Let's see the next question. The next question says, let D and E be the points on side AB and AC respectively of a triangle ABC, such that AD is to BD is nothing but 2:1 and AE is to CE is nothing but 2:3. If the area of a triangle ADE is 8 square centimeter, then the area of the whole triangle ABC is equivalent to how much? Okay, let's try to make this diagram first, or let's say triangle first, and then we have to solve this question. They are saying DE, let's name this as A, B and C. Okay, now it says D and E are the sides, are the points on AB and AC respectively. Let's take D to be a point here, and E to be a point somewhere here. Okay, the first ratio is AD is to BD. AD is to BD is 2:1. So let's assume this to be as 2x, and let's assume this to be as x. And now AE versus CE is 2:3. So let's assume this to be as 2y and this to be as 3y. This to be as 3y. The ratio, the area of the triangle ADE. So ADE is already being given to me. ADB is nothing but 8 square centimeter. ADB is nothing but 8 square centimeter, and the whole triangle area ABC is something which we have to find in the given question. Now you also know, if you have a triangle which is, let's take as PQR, the area for triangle PQR is also going to be given by half PQ sin R. Will be given by half PQ sin R, right? Similarly, let's try to find the area of ADE. Let's try to find the area of ADE using half AB sine C. ADE is what we are looking at first. ADE is basically also being given to us 8 unit. So half times sine A into 2x into 3y, or sorry, 2x into 2y, this is 2y, will be nothing but 8 units. So half sine A, 2x into 2y will be equal to 8 is being given to me, right? And ABC will be what? ABC will be half times sine A into, now this time this will be 2x plus 1x will be equal to 3x, and 2y plus 3y will be equal to 5y. This is what we have to find. Now what is common? Half sine A is basically common. So in short, the question asks you a simple question. 4 times xy is 8. If 4 times xy is basically 8, so 15 times xy will be equal to how much? Will be how much? If you just cross multiply, you will get the value of the whole triangle, which is 15xy, or let's say the area of a triangle ABC will be equal to 30 units. So 30 will be the answer for the area of a triangle, which is ABC. So this answer will be, it's theta question, but the answer will be as simple as 30, which you will type in. Cool. So let's see the next question, which came on the topic of time and work. The question says, Anil can paint a house in 60 days, while Bimal can paint a house in 84 days. Anil starts painting after 10 days. Bimal and Chadu also joins him. So 10 days of work has already been done by simply Anil, right? And post then Bimal and Chadu have joined him. Together they complete a painting, completing the entire house in 14 more days. If they are paid a total of 21,000 for the job, then the share of Charu in proportion to the work which is being done by C is how much, is the question. Clear? Now it's been said A started to work. Now A worked for 10 days out of 60 days of which he can work together alone. So it's certain that A has already completed 1/6 of the work. If A has already completed 1/6 of the work, so the total work which is being left, which will be done by A, B and C together, will be only 5/6 of the total work which we have to do, certainly. Now the work has been done together in 14 more days. So in 14 more days, A has done how much of the work? A has done 14 upon 60 of the work. Similarly, B will do how much? B will do 14 upon 84. 84 is the amount of days he could have taken alone. And C has taken 14 more days together, but the proportion of work will be 14 upon C, because C's total number of days for which he can work alone has not been given to you. This total is being accountable for 5/6 of the total work. Will be how much? This will be 5/6 of the total work. So 14 upon 84 is nothing but 1/6. So we can say 14 upon 60 plus 14 upon C will be equal to 5/6 minus 1/6, which will be 4/6, which will be equal to 2/3. So 14 upon C will be equal to 2 upon 3, which is 20 upon 30 minus 14 upon 60 minus 14 upon 60 into 2 times 40 minus 14 divided by 14. The value of C will be how much? The value of 1 upon C will be 13 upon 30 into 14. Now this is the amount of work which C can do in 1 day. But the total number of days in which C will be remunerated for is equivalent to the number of days he has worked for. So the number of days for which he can work is basically 14 days. So 1 day work is 13 upon 30 into 14. 14 days work will be 14, 14 gets cancelled. So C's proportion of work will be 13 upon 30. If C's proportion of work from the total work which we have got, 13 upon 30 is a fraction for which C is working. So C will obviously be accountable for 13 upon 30 of the total remuneration also. So 13 upon 30 into 21 or 21,000 will give you how much? 7 times, and 13 7 is 91. The answer will be option by A, which is 9100. So first you have to find out C's proportion of work 1 day. Now C has worked for 14 days, so in 14 days C is going to work 13 upon 30 of the total work, right? Of the total work, you got the total remuneration of 21,000. Out of total remuneration, C is proportionate for 13 upon 30 into 21,000. So the answer for the given question will be 9100. Let's see an easy question. The next question is for arithmetic. The question says 3 positive integers x, y and z are in AP. If y minus x is more than 2 and x, y, z, product of x, y, z is equal to 5 times x plus y plus z, where x, y and z are already in AP. The question is find the difference of z minus x. Now what is being given to you? X into y into z is nothing but 5 times x plus y plus z. Now if x, y and z are already in AP, x plus y plus z will be equal to 3 times y, right? So I can rewrite this as x, y, z is equal to 5 times 3 times y. Y will get cancelled. So x into z will be equal to 15. The product of two numbers to be equivalent to 15, there are only two combinations. 1 into 15 can give you 15 or 3 into 5 can give you 15. This could be the possible value of x and z. But what is also being given to you is the difference of y and x is more than 2. So x, y and z are in AP. If the difference of y and x is more than 2, definitely the difference between z and x will be more than 4. If the difference of z and x is more than 4, then certainly 3 and 5 cannot be the combination which I can look at. By doing this, I got x to be equal to 1, z to be equivalent to 15, and similarly in that case y should be equivalent to 8. Only then this would be an AP. So 1, 8 and 15 is the possible value of x, y and z. The question is about finding the difference of z minus x. Z minus x will be 15 minus 1, which will be equal to 14. Easy question. The answer for this question would be option number C. Let's say the next question. The next question says, Anil, Bobby and Chintu jointly invest in the business and agree to share the overall profit in the proportion of their investment. Anil's share of investment is 70%. His share of profit decreases by 420 rupees if the overall profit goes down from 18% to 15%. Chintu's share of profit increases by 80 rupees if the overall profit goes up from 15 to 17%. The question for you is, find the amount invested by Bobby. It's been said A has invested total of 70% of the investment. Let's assume the total investment to be X and A is investing 70% of it. Now it says, if the profit goes down from 18 to 15%, if the profit goes down by 3%, the amount which A will receive will be 420 less. The amount which A will receive will be equivalent to decrease, or let's say the total profit into the contribution by A, which is basically 70% of X. So 3 times 70% of X will be nothing but 420. So this will be 21 times. So the value of X is basically 20,000. What is this X? This X is the overall amount of investment. Now I know A has invested how much? 20%. Now let's come to C. C's share of profit increases by 80 rupees if the profit goes up from 15 to 17%. Now C's share I do not know. But if the profit goes up by 2%, of the overall amount which I know now is 20,000, now C will get 80 rupees more. Now C will get 80 rupees more. 2% of 20,000 will become 400. So 400 into C will become 80 rupees. So the C's share will be how much? 80 upon 400, which will be 1 by 5. Now 1 by 5 is how much? 1 by 5 is basically 20%. Now I know C has invested 20% of the total investment. A has invested 70% of total investment. So the leftover value is going to come from B, which will be basically 10% of investment. 10% of total investment of 20,000 will be nothing but 2,000, and hence the answer for this given question will be option number A. Quite an easy question, which all of you can solve it quickly also. Now let's take the easy question which came in the arithmetic section, question 22. The question says, in a football tournament, a player has played a certain number of matches and 10 more matches are to be played. So the remaining matches is basically 10. If he scores a total of 1 goal over the next 10 matches, his overall average will become 0.15 goals per match. On the other hand, if he scores a total of 2 goals in the next 10 matches, his overall average will become 0.2 goals per match. The question is find the number of matches. Find the number of matches which we have got. Now the question starts by saying X number of matches are being played. This is the number of match which is being played and the number of matches are remaining also. The total number of matches which are remaining now is 10. So X is the number of matches played and 10 is the number of matches left. The total number of matches will be X plus 10. Right? Now the question says, if he scores a total of 1 goal over the next 10 matches, so if I put 1 goal in the next 10 matches, my overall average will become 0.15 goals per match. On the other hand, if I put 2 goals in the next 10 matches, my overall average will become 0.20 goals per match. Clear? So if I put one more goal, if I just put one more goal in the next 10 matches, my average number of goals per match is increasing by 0.05. So my average is increasing by 0.05, right? And if this is going to come only with a difference of one more goal. But so you got to consider in this way, by putting one more goal in the next 10 matches, by my goals, average goals per match is increasing by 0.05. So the number of matches which will be played will be how much? So it's going to be 0.05 into the number of matches which is being played to be equal to a difference of 1. By doing this, you understand that simply the number of matches which is being played is 20. Has been played is 20. Out of 20 number of matches, 10 is remaining. So the actual number of matches which is being played is nothing but 10. So past 10 matches have been played, remaining 10 number of matches which is being played. So total number of matches in this question will be 20. What was there? X number of matches is being played, remaining is 10 matches. If you put one goal in the next 10 match, my average will become 0.15 goals per match. Similarly, if I put just two more goals, my average will become 0.2. So my average is increasing by 0.5. If I put one more goal. So my total number of matches will be 20 in this given question.